They always say you shouldn't work alone underground, especially after midnight. And I used to laugh at that, chalk it up to superstition, or maybe just union guys trying to scare off the newbies. But now, I think there's a reason we joke about things that crawl through the dark, because something is down there, and I'm the only one who came back to talk about it. It was supposed to be a routine night shift, inspect the flood valves under the old Granton sewer main, replace a faulty regulator, log the data, and be done before sunrise. I'd been doing this job for 6 years, long enough to know the layout better than my own apartment, long enough to stop fearing the way the tunnels groaned at night like they were alive, long enough to think I'd seen everything. Until that night. It was 3:12 a.m., according to my clipboard. The streets above were silent, the city asleep. Only the faint hum of distant traffic buzzed overhead, filtered through 10 feet of stone and rusted pipe. I had just crawled into one of the maintenance junctions beneath Sector 9B, a place we rarely went into since the water pressure had been rerouted years ago. The air was wrong the moment I got there. Thick, wet, not sewer wet, but sticky, like tar had been left to hang in the air, clinging to the walls. My flashlight flickered, and I chalked it up to dying batteries. I remember muttering under my breath, something like cheap government junk, and moving forward. That's when I saw the corrosion. Not rust, not mold, but a black sludge crawling across the metal like rot, pulsing slightly under the beam of my light. The pipes near the center of the chamber were almost melted, as though something acidic had oozed over them recently. I should have left right then. Instead, I reached for my radio. Control, this is Field Op 94. Junction 9BS got signs of chemical corrosion. Request secondary inspection team. But the line crackled, then hissed, and then it died completely. And that's when the grate behind me moved. Not loudly, just a soft metallic clang, like something shifting weight as it emerged from a crawl space it had no business fitting through. I spun around, flashlight aimed square into the dark. There was nothing, just the tunnel, curving back into black. I took a shaky breath, told myself it was thermal expansion, or rats, or whatever helped me stay functional, and turned back to the panel. Then I heard the drip. Not water. It sounded thicker, heavier, like oil hitting stone. Drip, drip, drip. And then a hand. It came down from the ceiling, folding over the edge of the pipe. It wasn't just old. It looked dead. Bloated black skin, brittle and stretched thin like leather left out in a storm. Fingers too long. Nails that clicked as they touched metal. I didn't scream. I couldn't. My body locked up, my breath caught halfway out. The hand was followed by a second, and then a head. Not a mask, not a costume. A face decayed beyond recognition, grinning without lips, its empty sockets fixed directly on me. I turned and ran. I didn't care about the clipboard, the tool bag, the valve inspection. I ran blind through the tunnels, slipping in the grime, my boots slapping hard against the concrete. Behind me, I heard the sound of scraping, metal giving way under slow, purposeful movement. It didn't run. It didn't have to, because I knew what I'd seen. SCP-106, the old man. I'd read the stories. I thought they were fiction. Creepy internet files, Foundation lore. But now it was here, rising out of the sewer like death on vacation. The tunnel bent sharply to the left, and I turned with it, too fast. I fell, cracked my knee against the wall, pain blooming instantly through my leg. But adrenaline is a wonderful thing when you're being hunted. I dragged myself up and limped forward, panting so hard it sounded like screaming. Then I saw the ladder, a service hatch, steel marked with yellow paint. My way out. I didn't think. I didn't look back. I just climbed. The cold rungs cut into my hands. My foot slipped once, and I almost lost everything. But I made it to the top. I hit the release on the hatch, and it didn't budge. I hit it again. Nothing. Something moved below me. I could feel it. A subtle pull in the air, like gravity was bending upward, like the space beneath me was being eaten. Then the hatch gave way, swinging open with a rusty shriek. I climbed out onto the wet pavement of the alleyway, gasping. The night air never felt so clean. But I wasn't alone. I staggered out of the hatch, collapsing onto cracked pavement. My legs screamed with every movement. but I didn't care. I had made it out. I was alive. Or so I thought. The alley was silent, too silent. No breeze. No cars. Even the city's usual neon glow seemed dimmer, like the whole world had stopped to watch me crawl from that hole. Behind me, the manhole cover still stood wide open, and a thin trail of black liquid seeped from its edge like blood from a wound. I pulled out my phone. No signal. Not even emergency bars. I hobbled toward the main street, trying to remember where the nearest fire station was, or a hospital, or anything with people. But with each step, something gnawed at my gut, a feeling like I hadn't really escaped, like I was still in it somehow. That's when I noticed the walls. The graffiti was gone. The windows on the buildings were bricked up, as if they'd never been opened. The trash cans were perfectly aligned. Not a single rat. Not even a flicker of life. And then the shadows moved. Not dramatically. No jump scare. Just a subtle, sickening realization. The angle of the moonlight had changed. The lamplight didn't match the shape of the street. The shadows were wrong. They curved, like I was inside a place that didn't obey geometry. That's when I remembered the stories. SCP-106 doesn't just kill you. It takes you. It drags you into something called a pocket dimension, a personal hell, stitched together with your worst fears, bending reality to the whims of something ancient and cruel. And that hatch, that ladder, it wasn't real. I wasn't back on the surface. I was deeper. Somewhere, a low groan echoed across the alley. It didn't come from behind me. It came from all around, like the world itself was breathing. The buildings seemed to lean in, their silhouettes twitching at the corners of my vision. I turned in every direction and saw no doors, no exits, only walls. Then I saw him again. SCP-106. He didn't walk. He flowed, like oil across the ground. That same grinning corpse face stretched wider now, its lower jaw hanging loosely, almost touching its chest. Every movement it made left black right behind, walls bubbling and metal hissing as it passed. I froze. My body wouldn't listen to me. Then it spoke. Not with words. Not aloud. But somehow, directly into my mind. A scraping whisper across my thoughts. We've been here before. And in that instant, memories I didn't own came flooding in. Men torn apart in endless loops. Screams echoing from hallways with no end. Rooms rearranged behind blinking eyes. Some had been there for years. Others never made it past the first minute. I dropped to my knees. I screamed, but the air swallowed it whole. I wanted to die. I begged to die. And that's when something happened. A sound. Clang. The manhole above me, the real one, swung open. I don't know how. I don't know why. But a blinding white light poured in. A rope ladder dropped. And a voice yelled, "Now! Move!" Without thinking, I leapt. The world twisted as I ran. The building screamed. The pavement buckled. 106 reached for me. But just as his fingers brushed my boot, I woke up, flat on a sterile metal floor, inside a white chamber, heart pounding, mouth dry. A man in a black suit stood over me. No badge, no name. He looked at a clipboard, then said flatly, "He made it out. Mark is Type 2 resistance." I asked where I was. I asked what had happened. He didn't answer. They took blood samples, ran cognitive tests. I heard one of them mutter something about a mimetic filter. Another said I was lucky. Only 1 in 5 survived direct contact. Then they gave me a choice. Sign a paper that said it was all a hallucination caused by methane exposure, or disappear. So yeah, that's why I'm telling you this now. I signed. I let them write it off as gas poisoning and stress. But I know what I saw. I know where I was. And sometimes, when I sleep, I hear that whisper again. We've been here before. So, if you're ever walking home late at night, and you see a trail of black sludge leading to a sewer grate, don't follow it. And if something crawls up, don't look back. Because if you do, you'll never really leave.